Yeah. They mad, they hate, and irritated. Wow. Close your mouth, you can save it without a doubt. Yeah. You won't claim it, you is a slouch. Live in your mom basement. They mad, they hate, and irritated. Yeah. Stop complaining, stop back chasing. Can't wait for it, you gotta take it if you don't.
What it do is your boy Lifeline. Lifeline presents, bringing to you GOAT matches. We got 7 signed in the building.
What's good? What's good?
We got Benny Blanco in the building. What's good?
What's going on, man?
Nothing, man. I had to wear my shirt today. You know, the finals is over, and he was the dude I seen shut the finals down. You know what I mean? So I put MJ on. I know the Knicks fans gonna be like, yo, what is he doing? But it's a sports show. This ain't the Knicks show.
That's right. That's right.
So right now, I want to, because me and Benny was off air, and we was talking about the heat. Like, America got a heat wave going on. Like, it's scorching outside. I mean, it's ridiculous. I got out the house like 6-something in the morning and lost my breath like I walked into a sauna. At 6 in the morning. Come on.
Yeah. Crazy.
Nah, it's real out here. It's real. And you know, me and you, we both in North Carolina. So we know this weather, it'll change on you. And I'm glad, I hate that it's hot, but I'm glad it's not raining, man. It didn't rain like 28 days out of the last 30, man.
Yeah.
So I'm all right with it.
That's
yeah. Yeah. I was telling you earlier, you know, with this heat, I'm out here in New York, going in the subway alone is already hot. So we're going down there and it's like scorching.
Yeah.
To get hit with that in the head, like, oh, we're having signal problems up ahead. And thank you for your patience. And I'm like, what? So now we sitting there, we're baking. We are baking in there. And now more people is gathering. So now like, yo, they start playing with your head, like, yo, can I breathe in here? Yo, it was getting to that point. You know, but you know, I was feeling nice at the time too. So but nah, everything worked out. It's just part of New York City, man. Like I'm so immune to this shit. And I don't think that's good to be immune to this shit.
Yeah, New York, it's different. Like in other places, they say going postal. That was just the New York state of mind. You feel me?
Right.
Other places going postal is like going bizarre. But check it out.
Wait, hold on. Didn't that happen in New York too, though?
I'm sure it did. I'm sure it did, you know?
I think that happened in New York.
We're gonna get to the finals is over. OKC is the champions. Congratulations to OKC. Haliburton got injured. We're going to talk about that, but we're going to get strictly on the finals right now. We're going to start off with Benny. All right, Game 7. What you thought about it? How you feel about the new champs? Just give me your thoughts on it.
Respect due. Oklahoma City, they went for it. Again, I spoke about the role players. It was role players heavily involved in the win. You know, it's a new champion. It's good. I think it's good for the NBA because now, you know, you got the younger generation coming up and they're setting the bar pretty in a good place right now as far as SGA. So that's good. I think it's good for the NBA. And listen, Indiana knocked us out. You know, we're gonna have, you know, that's the next rivalry with us right now. Oh, it's been a rivalry from back then. But but respect to them too, because I saw how they were grinding it out, and at the end of the day, we know we might have got out coached. But it is what it is.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. Seth, what you feel about Game 7?
Listen. I think I texted you last night during the first quarter, and I was like, man, they cutting it close. I don't know. But it was a good game all in all. I look at it like this. I told you that I didn't think the role players would be the most important in this Game 7. I felt like it was going to be your star players. If your star players could come out and go hard, you know what I'm saying, to show that we are the best. And I think that OKC, they two top players showed and proved like, yo, I think they combined for maybe 49 points. So they outscored the top players, the top starters on the other team, even though, you know, we had one injury. But I knew it was going to be a hard fight. But again, shout outs to Indiana for even being there. You know, you always think back to like teams that you didn't think was going to even make it that far. We look at some of those Miami teams when Atlanta went to the conference finals. Like, you know, it's always one team that surprised you every few years. And Indiana was that this season. So much respect to them. But OKC showed why they were the best team all year round, man.
True that.
Yeah, that's
True
a
that.
fact. That's a fact. It was a good game in the first half. The second half, it was just good play by Indiana bench.
Yeah.
It just wasn't a good game anymore. It was like McConnell and Mathurin was just scoring to keep it kind of respectable.
Right.
Mhm.
You know, but OKC had it because everybody was contributing. You know, Obi Toppin, he didn't score. It seemed like some of the Indiana players was very nervous. Turner with his points, Neesmith with his points. It's like y'all was non-factors. A lot of complaining with the refs. Like it was just a whole, it was like Indiana just like crashed out, you know? And when Haliburton went out, it's a lot to go through when your guy go down, and then Siakam didn't shoot a lot. So I'm proud of Indiana for getting this far, but I felt like nobody on a team except for McConnell and Mathurin went out shooting. The
Right.
guys was just fumbling the ball. They was just fumbling. It was like they didn't know how to get the ball, and McConnell had a lot of turnovers too. And I just think it's OKC defense really that good because they really make teams look really like high schoolish. It's like you don't have a plan, and I guess by not having a quarterback in Haliburton, you really looked, you know, out of your offense. You know, I was looking like Brunson. I'm like, yo, pass the ball. Pass the ball. But overall,
I feel like Oklahoma, they use like this element of surprise every game. Because who's the dude with the dreads? What,
Wallace.
this dude. Where's he been? You know what I'm saying? And next thing you know, defensively, he's like all over the goddamn place. And he's hitting shots. So it's like it's always the element of surprise when they hit you.
Yeah, but that's how real defense go. When you play ball, that's what you did. That's why it's called a trap. Because it ain't like we just gonna do this. We trap you. So we let you get in a spot and then we jump on you and we make you figure out what you're gonna do. And a lot of times you'd be surprised and you make errors, you make turnovers. It just like you said, like I don't know who signals it or you just come, but they kept like as soon as they was getting off a half court, it's like trapping them right there.
Yeah.
And that's regular park ball because now you got a third defender with the baseline. With the
Right.
So now you got the two defenders, and sometimes they send three. You got that, and then you got the baseline out of bounds. You got all these different lines to make them turn the ball over and make them make a decision. So they did a hell of a job, and it was just like basic defense. It was like OKC coach, because he was in the G League. He just went back to regular basketball.
Yeah.
Right.
Like pressure them and see what they do with it.
Yeah, and you know, not for nothing, like even when you mention Wallace and you say, well, where has he been? You know, when they lost Haliburton, you know, now because Wallace is a guard. So now you have another defensive guard that you can double team with because Haliburton isn't in the game. So
There you
now
go.
that defense just seems so much greater. It's like, well, where did he come from? Well, we didn't need him to guard the guard now.
Your primary ball handler's out.
Right. So now we got this extra guard that could help out on Siakam, help out on, all of these other big men. And that's pretty much what he was in there for. And it caused havoc. It really threw Indiana off of their game. And
Nimrod, I thought Nimrod played well. You know what I'm saying? I never expect much of him, but at one point he was trying to take charge, but it was only to a certain point. But I give him credit. He tried.
Right.
Oh, you
right.
gonna leave his name up to a Mathurin?
No, Nimrod, the one with the headband.
Oh, I'm about to say you because y'all been answering different names. I'm trying to make sure we get the right.
Wait, you just jacked his name
Nimrod.
all up, man.
I was like, yo, nah, but it's funny because the guard play was pretty good. It's just that Indiana, the big man play was non and void. They didn't have not one big man. If you get every guy 6'10" or tall and add their points up, it might not even equal 10 points.
Right.
Yeah. And
Obi didn't have that good of a game.
But I think that had a lot to do with the double teaming. Because once Haliburton was out, you didn't focus on the ball handling anymore. So now it's like, hey, we can double team Siakam. Every time a big man get the ball, we could double team him. We already still got two big men in there. We got 2 7-footers. Now let's throw a 6'4" guy in there to just disrupt them totally. And I think that's what it boiled down to. And I think that was the plan initially anyway.
Yeah.
I just felt like, Rick Carlisle after game 3, I think the last 4 games he got out coached. He got out coached the last 4 games. And to the point where they never imposed their will anymore.
What about game 6?
Nah, you won because you came out fighting for your life and OKC let you have it.
I get that. I agree with that.
You feel me? Y'all was so much didn't want to embarrass yourself that OKC, they were sitting on the bench talking to each other.
Yeah.
SGA was whispering in Williams' ear as they sitting there with the towel over his mouth. Like, look at him smiling. You know what I mean?
Right.
Look at them. So they never felt they was going back home. So it was like, let's not hurt ourselves. They on fire right now because it's easy to do that at home when your back is against the wall.
Oh yeah, definitely that.
So we're gonna jump back onto the finals in a minute, but now we're gonna get into Haliburton's injury because he tore his Achilles, and when he did it, it's funny because I tore my Achilles. And 7 was there when I tore my Achilles.
I don't even know that.
I wasn't hurt. I wasn't in pain.
Mm-hmm.
I really didn't know what happened. So when he was, I guess he kind of knew because he had a calf strain. And he probably knew, but I wouldn't really know how much pain was he in because he was punching the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Deb, I'm going to start with you. When you seen him went down, what did you feel?
Felt like, here we go again. Here we go again with these NBA doctors telling you that all you have is a calf sprain or strain, and then you tear your Achilles. Here we go again. And then we wonder why somebody like, Jesus, I can't think of his name, played for the Clippers. He played when he won.
Kawhi.
Why Kawhi is like, yo, I'm not listening to your doctors. Like, I don't feel good. I don't feel like my body can maintain this. So I'm not going to play. Because at the end of the day, the NBA doctors, they work for the NBA. They don't work for the players. And if you as a player feel like you can't go or this injury might be more severe than what they're telling you, it's up to you to say, hey, I'm not going to play. But then at the same time, you got your teammates. We need you. We can't win without you. Are you that hurt? Like, come on. You know what I'm saying? Mike played with the flu. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't want to hear anymore that, oh, it was just the calf strain. How many times have we heard that? like this calf strain turns into Achilles tear. Like, listen, we learn as children, your neck bone's connected to this bone, the knee bone's connected to, like, come on. Your calf is clearly connected to your hamstring and your calf, and your Achilles are all connected. Yeah. And I think that it's an unfortunate event, but it is what it is.
So, Ben, what about you? How you felt when you seen his injury, Haliburton's injury?
Well, to tell you the truth, I missed that part. I was I didn't even know the game was yesterday. I thought the game was tonight.
Wow.
So I'm sitting there and it's like, and then I'm starting to get people, starting to talk, and I'm like, wait a minute, what are they talking about? The game tonight? And it was already, I missed the beginning of the game. So I missed that part. When I turned it on, I think it had just happened. But regardless, an Achilles is horrible. We all know not everybody comes back from that. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody's Kobe.
Durant.
You know what I'm saying? Durant, KD, he's doing whatever he can, but his game has changed. But hopefully he could stay healthy. Not everybody, could deal with that type of injury. So I'm just hoping, he could come back, because I did like the competition. It was definitely entertaining, and it's definitely a rivalry. So, you want to play against the best. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully he can. He's young. He's young. I think he can come back and he'll be all right.
And he doesn't depend on athleticism. So that's one of the key factors to an Achilles injury. If your game is based on athleticism, it's hard to kind of come back from that. But when you look at a KD who's 6'11" and can shoot from anywhere, you can't teach that. There's no athleticism about that. That's just natural talent. So Haliburton, I think he'll be okay.
I don't know now, son, after you said it like that, because Haliburton game is like he changes gears. He's irky jerky. So for him to run and stop and spin and do all this, I'm really like what you're saying. Like that might not take athleticism because he's not jumping, but he's switching gears.
Yeah, no, I think that his game will definitely change. And I think that he'll have to implement, maybe better shooting percentages and things like that. But as far as him going hard to, like, if it was a Russell Westbrook and that happened in the prime of his career, I would be like, it's over for Russ, because his game is based totally on his athleticism. He's not a high percentage shooter. He's gonna run full speed to the basket, jump over you. It would. But with Haliburton, he's a little more what's the word I can use? Cynical in a sense with his. He's a little more I'm gonna dribble left, dribble right, spin off, pass it. It's not all I'm just gonna run through you, jump over you, and do this. But I do think that he'll definitely have to change some of his game.
Okay. I got you. But now we got to get to this. I hate to even speak of this, but it was in the East. It's three major injuries in the East. So it's going to shake up the East. Tatum, Achilles. Haliburton, Achilles. Lillard, Achilles. Those are three teams in the East that made the playoffs. I got a suggestion what Boston need to do. I didn't give this to y'all, but because I was just thinking that when I was coming over here before we were recording. Because right now, Boston is in a place where they're paying some big, heavy salaries. And you don't have a time. But I'm just going to tell you what y'all feel about the East. Is it wide open? And what y'all think need to happen for our team, the Knicks, to step up?
You want to take that, Benny?
Yeah, Ben, you first. Go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. At this point, I was a little surprised about the KD thing. I don't know if you guys were surprised, but I was a little bit surprised. I don't know why, but I was.
Hold on. You jumped into that. We got that one. You don't jump into that one. You jump in questions right now.
No. I'm just saying.
Okay.
But we're running it back. At this point, we're running it back. And at this point, we don't have a coach. So, but as far as unfortunately, because of all those injuries, yes, the East is open. So I'm hearing maybe DiVincenzo is coming back. I'm hearing, players here and there, not much. And the way Leon Rose and these guys operate, sometimes they don't do much and they just run it back. But the only thing I question about that is like, okay, you're running it back with the players, but where's the coach?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I would like to see more shooting, like a shooting guard that's going to look for a shot. Mikal Bridges doesn't look for a shot. I'm fine with Bridges. I'm not trying to bash him or whatever. But in times that we need you to look for your shot, he's not looking for a shot. Josh Hart, same thing. We need somebody that's going out there to like get buckets.
Okay, Sam. Well, how you feel about the injuries, and do you feel like it's gonna impact the Knicks in a way that we could step up? Coming because we went to the Eastern Conference Finals, so we already did well without the injuries.
Well, I'll say this much. First, let me say this in response to Ben, as far as, these guys needing somebody to look for their shot. I think that, one, we don't know what the issue was with the coaching. So if it was an issue to where, these guys didn't have the opportunity to look for their shots, like, you got somebody like Mikal Bridges averaging the most minutes in the NBA and not getting any shots. So was that a coaching issue? So we're going to find that out. So as far as the East goes, of course we run it back. Of course, New York is in the prime position to be the best team on the East, because we know that none of these guys are coming back this season from an Achilles injury. We're going to miss them all this upcoming season. So that leaves the New York Knicks. Technically, you will be coming in as the second best team on the East already behind Indiana. We have to give them their respect. They knocked us out of the conference. So, of course, we run it back. We get a good coach, and depending on our coach, it's going to put us in the perfect position to be the best team on the East. Now, we don't know what's going to happen on the West, who we'll be facing. But right now, I think that the Knicks are in the perfect position to be the conference finals champions. So, yeah, you run that back all day. You make little adjustments, but you run that core back. You run it back.
Okay, I feel the same, but I felt the same before the injuries. I felt like running back because the team that beat us is the team that been together the longest. Like Turner, Haliburton, even Siakam, he was a new addition, but he was there. Knicks, we keep adding pieces and we never get the cohesiveness of the pieces that we have. So right now, at least our core is good, because we got to realize 2024-25, we added 2 new pieces, Bridges and Cat. We didn't just add one. We added 2. If we would have still had Randall and added Bridges, we already had the core. We just had to get Bridges acclimated to what we're doing here.
Right.
We had to get 2 guys into our system.
That's a fact.
So that was a lot. So right now, I think of Jaren Jackson, but these injuries right now is pressure on the Knicks. I'll be the first to say it. It's pressure on this because Sam said Indiana was the #1 team because they beat us. But really, without Haliburton, I don't know if they're the #1 anymore.
That's a fact.
And without Tatum, Boston ain't #2 no more.
Correct.
So then Cleveland had the best record. We don't really know what they're going to do, but we still know they're a good team. They just they didn't show up in the playoffs. So right now, the Knicks is in the #1-2 spot. 1-2 spot. If we don't get the #1 or 2 spot, it's a disappointment.
That's a fact.
We're not dealing with Achilles. But this is what I got to say about Boston right now. Boston, this is something. Tell me how y'all feel about this. I thought of this driving here. Boston need to trade Jaylen Brown to Phoenix for Jalen Green. Yeah, you can figure out the other moving pieces because Boston this year is going to be a wash.
Well, you know what though? Boston, what they're going to have to do this season, Brown is going to have to show and prove that that contract is worth it. Like, you're going to have to show us. No, I'm being for real, because when you got that contract, we still had Tatum. You know what I'm saying? We had the best team in the East. So now without Tatum, show us that you deserve that contract. Show us that you're that great of a player. It's almost like the whole OKC situation with Russ and Durant. Like, now he's hurt. Show us that you can still get us to the playoffs, because we still got our main core pieces. And I think that that's what's going to happen with Boston, that they're going to put it on Jaylen Brown to show us that you're worth what we're paying you. And if not, then I think that the next season they'll look to trade him.
Yeah, I'm just curious, should you show him? Because Al Horford retired. So he's gone. Now, you do have a lot of good pieces, but I'm just figuring out, you know, at times, if you know you don't got your two best players, why stay in contention and mess around, and you could get you could rebuild while one of your players is hurt, like David Robinson did when he was hurt, and they got Tim Duncan. So it's like I'm just thinking, because right now you couldn't beat the Knicks with your full roster.
Right. And I think that one of the main things, even like when you look at the David Robinson situation, David Robinson was the San Antonio Spurs. Like, you know, when we look at Boston, there's a tandem. It's Tatum and Brown. You know what I'm saying? And at one point, there was a situation, you know, just a few years ago when we were like, which one is better? Who's the leader of the team? Who's going to be that guy? Are they going to be able to win and coexist together? So I think if you know, kind of rebuild your team in the sense of seeing what other pieces you have already while Tatum is out, because even without Tatum, Boston should be on paper one of the top 4 teams in the East.
They should be.
Yeah, they should be. So now we want to see, are you? Because
it's going to be harder. It's definitely going to be harder without Tatum.
I don't think so. I beg to differ.
Really?
Differ. Without Tatum, because you still have Detroit, you still have Orlando. You got teams that done got their players back and played good last year. So you got some teams in the East. So I don't know if Boston should be number 4.
I think that number 4 or 5th seed, I say 4. I'm leaning more toward the 4 because you have Jaylen Brown, all NBA player. You have the unicorn. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you lost Al Horford. You still have these other players that on paper are supposed to be like these great two-way players. So, you know, then I look at Indiana losing Haliburton, and, you know what I'm saying, with Dame Lillard being gone from Milwaukee. I mean, because in most of the series that Boston would play, they would have 2 of the top 4 guys on either side of the ball.
And you're right. And that's what I was just about to say. Tatum and Brown, neither one ever carried the team by themselves.
That's right. I agree 100%.
So right now, their whole career been based on lifting the couch together.
And that's what I want to see. I want to see, are you a superstar or are you just a star with another star? You know what I'm saying? And because you have your contract, what's this contract? $300 and some million?
Yeah.
Like, I want to see. Because remember, we had that big thing, even when they traded Smart. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, they getting rid of Smart. You know, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, they should be a great, you know what I'm saying? Now I want to see, are you a superstar?
Well, we're going to see.
I don't think he's a superstar. I believe he's a star. But we're going to go to the next question because I want to get caught up in here. but I'm just thinking like as far as both franchises, because Phoenix didn't do no improvements.
No, at all.
Brown would be an improvement, and he would give them a dynamic that they don't have. Getting Jalen Green was just getting a smaller KD with less skills. Because he's just a shooter, athletic perimeter guy. They didn't fulfill anything that they need. Now, Dylan Brooks, they gave him some defense, some toughness. So he's a keeper. And with Brown would have gave him some leadership, scoring, toughness, defense, because right now Phoenix is terrible. And I'm just looking at Boston, because you're right. Boston has enough. If Porzingis play, Drew Holiday's getting older, but they have White.
Mm-hmm.
So White, Brown, and Porzingis, that they could be good enough.
Yeah, I think so. They should be.
We shall see. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
On paper, they still have enough. I mean, they still have enough. We're gonna see how Brown steps into the role as the man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure he will have to make adjustments. But listen, Brown, he's a good defender. And he's streaky shooter, but he can score. We're gonna see. I don't know about his leadership, how he's gonna get guys behind him and be like, let's do this.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be the key.
I think they always co-led. They always co-led. But let's get to the fourth question right here. KD to Houston. Ben was about to tap into it because he was talking about the Knicks. Because a lot of people thought he was going to the Knicks. I'm so happy he went to Houston, and I'm so happy they didn't gut their roster to get him. Seb, what you feel about KD to Houston?
Same thing I always feel about KD to any other team than the Knicks. To hell with you, KD. Again, KD. How many times KD gonna do this to me? I feel like I'm in a battered relationship with KD. Like, I get so excited he's gonna do the right thing. He's coming to the Knicks, and then he picks a team. But seriously, I think that it was a good look for Phoenix because clearly that whole dynamic was bad. Now I'm gonna go and say this, even though I said before, I don't want to hear about KD making the team an automatic contender. With what Houston has, and like you said, with them not gutting their roster, Houston just became a hell of a team on the West.
But hold up, who was involved in the trade here?
Okay, all right. KD went to Houston, of course, and Dylan Brooks and Jalen Green. So they shooting guard that was averaging that had like 7 games in the playoffs, but had like 5 where he scored single figures. The guy to be wearing the black nail polish and stuff.
yeah,
The young boy.
He got the braids going on.
Yeah, the young boy.
He's good though.
Yeah, he's good, but he didn't show up. And they heard him. Your best player wasn't your best player, and when it's time for him to be the best player
in the playoffs.
Yeah,
and we know what KD is going to do.
They got some little picks, but it was really Dylan Brooks and Green, and that's why I said Phoenix getting Green. That was like for nothing. Another small guard. That don't make no sense.
No, that's a fact.
But KD's really going to work out. He got, this situation right here is similar to KD going to Brooklyn. Before they got all the other guys, before they got and like they still got all the good pieces still.
Right.
So it's going to be interesting what Houston does.
I agree. I think that Houston, it's more beneficial for Houston right now than it is for Phoenix.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Houston definitely won the trade.
So, Ben, you didn't hear the trade too much, B.
So you're running now with Van Vliet, Who's going to be the two?
I don't even know their whole roster right now.
Yeah, I'm not
Okay.
sure
I
their
don't know
title.
Houston whole roster, but all I know is they got the Thomas guy, they got
Right.
Jabari Smith, they got
They're
Thomas.
Van
they're putting
Fleet.
a lot. They're putting a lot on the Thomas guy because I guess he has a big upside, and he's a hell of a defender. So I guess they're riding a lot on that, and they're pairing him with KD's going to shoot.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
gonna
and you
score.
know, you still have Steven Adams, you still have Van Fleet. I think Houston is going to be a good team.
And then the Shangoon guy.
The Shangoon, that's a big addition
Yeah,
too. So he's like the inside guy. He's tough. That guy's tough.
yeah,
Yeah, Houston, they pulled one on the league right now, man.
yeah. I
Okay.
agree. I
Okay.
agree. Because I think that Houston was a lot better individually than people gave them credit for. And I think now that you add a KD, it's like these guys just got that much better, man.
Right.
Because they didn't have a superstar, and they didn't have,
Right.
KD, he, like they say he's not a leader. They didn't have a leader. They didn't have somebody that gets you a guaranteed buckets. And by you getting easy money sniper, you got the guaranteed bucket.
Right.
That's for sure.
That's a fact.
You know, he can
That's
score
for
from
sure.
all places. But let me get to this real quick. We ain't talk about this, but the Lakers selling the majority of the team for $10 billion. The Celtics, for context, the Celtics sold their team a year or so ago for 6 point something. The Lakers sold the majority percentages for $10 billion.
Mm-hmm.
They said the percentage they got for an increase or whatever, the profit increase was like 17,400 such and such percentage from where they bought it to what they sold it. Yeah.
That don't make sense. I mean, it's the LA Lakers, though. Like, we know what they're worth. And I mean, not for nothing, hell, I'll sell my family for $10 billion. Not even the majority. I'll sell the whole damn family. But no, it's the LA Lakers. And fortunately, you got a team in the Lakers or a franchise in the Lakers that's only going to ever get like mature. You know what I'm saying? They're always going to appreciate the Lakers are never going to depreciate as a, team or, you know what I'm saying? So you paying that much in a few years, you might be able to sell that same majority for 14 billion. So, I mean, it's just shocking to hit them type of numbers, for an NBA team and not the whole team. Just a portion of it is like $10 billion. And then you look at a team like the Hornets, I think their entire worth might be like 4 billion. You know what I'm saying? If that. So it's just amazing to even hear those type of numbers in basketball. Because we remember where basketball was before the Showtime Lakers and all of that. So it's just amazing to hear that. Like, we've come a long way, man.
Yeah. What's up with you, B?
That's crazy. That's crazy. But did this actually happen? Like, or they're thinking about it?
No, it's done.
Yeah, I think they pulled the trigger on it.
Wow. Listen, I'm not an accountant. I'm not a financial guy, but listen, somebody making money.
So, but what does that do for like the Lakers, like as far as Jeannie Buss and the foundation in general, majority owner, you get to make a lot of the decisions now. So what is that going to do for the franchise?
Well, I think the hands that they gave it to, what I've heard from different shows, I call it from my dogs. So when I say my dogs, that's the other guys.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
my dogs, what I heard from my dogs, it was like the ownership is the same guy who owned the LA Dodgers.
Okay.
So it's not like just a random person or
Right.
a random group. This
Gotcha.
is the ownership of the guys who helped a franchise win a World Series last year.
Got you.
Okay.
So the owners are a group of, or the owner, or however you want to look at it, they're a group of people that know how to put the right plays together.
Got you.
Okay.
They pockets is longer than Manute Bowl. You know what I'm saying? So it was easy for them to do it and still keep some stocks in the company.
Okay.
So that's
Right.
one
That's
thing.
crazy.
Yeah, that's one thing that I love. And I can't wait to have some money and you could sell something, but then still keep a percentage of it because you still get money from it, but you got a big whopping at one time.
Right.
Like you got 10 point something billion, 10.1 billion, whatever it was, and you still was getting paid every year off of your other smaller percentage. Like,
Okay. And
go ahead.
the guy who bought it, Mark Walter, he already owned 20%. He was a 20% shareholder in the Lakers already anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, it had to be approved by the Bus siblings, so I think that my main concern would be, because Jenny Bus is the face of the LA franchise.
Mm-hmm.
And, a lot of the decisions she made, I didn't totally agree with, like, especially the situation with Magic Johnson. Like, I just didn't agree with the way that went down and all of that. So I'm wondering if they're going to kind of go away from her being the face of the franchise at this point. Or is she still going to be like the face and, the final decision maker? That's something I like to see, because that says a lot for the future going forward with LeBron being a Laker.
I got you. I got something y'all want to drop. You have something great? Because I got a not for nothing. So, and it goes to the finals too. It's really, I'm just saying not for nothing, but I want the guys in the NBA to realize how great Shea was this year.
Facts.
We already know how great he was, but this Shea year, what he put together this year should be inspiration for the rest of the league. Like somebody to dominate and impose his will on the game.
That's a fact.
From just by GOAT metric standards, he got a championship, which is 10 points. He got a scoring title, which is 10 points. He got an MVP, which is 5 points. He got a finals MVP, which is 5 points. And he has an all-NBA, first all-NBA, which is 3 points. So Shea accumulated 33 points in 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
That's big.
And this is where it gets different. This is why I got this shirt on right here. This is why. Because this has only been done 7 times. It's only 4 players ever in NBA history have had a scoring title, MVP, finals MVP, and a championship. And here go the 4 guys right here. It was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was the first guy to do it in 1971.
Wow.
And then the second guy to do it was Michael Jordan. He did it in 91 and 92.
Okay.
Then he came back after he retired. He did it in 96 and 98. That's crazy. And then Shaq did it in 2000. And then Shea did it 25 years later. So check this out. I'm going to tell you something like this. And it's remarkable how Shaq did it so close to Mike, too. That just lets you know Shaq dominance. Because Kareem did it in 71, then Mike did it in 91. So Mike did it 20 years later.
Right.
Shaq did it 3 years after Mike did it on his last one. He did it after his last. So Mike's last one was in 98 in his final season. So Mike's final season as a Bull.
Wow.
He led the team in score. He led the league in scoring, got the MVP, Finals MVP, and got a championship. And he had other accolades as well.
Right,
But
right.
this is in his 13th season.
That's what makes him.
I put this shirt on. When I was going over these numbers and everything, like we keep, and I hate it because I know guys are like, yo, they won't let Mike not be the GOAT. No, no, no. His career won't let him not be the GOAT.
Right. That's
Like,
a fact.
this ain't what we doing, because when guys is doing something great, when SGA did this, and this is for the league right now, this is Mike, Shaq, Kareem. This is what SGA did. We ain't talking about LeBron. We ain't talking about KD. We ain't talking about Steph Curry. We ain't talking about all these great guys. No, we said Jordan, Shaq, and Kareem. Those was the three guys that do that. Not Wilt, not Bill Russell, not none of these guys.
That's a fact.
Shea wound up doing it. Shea got 33 points in a 2024-25 season. And it's sad because I still feel like Jokic is the best player in the league. But what Shea did this year showed me he might be the most dominant player in the league. And not because Jokic's going to have a better stat line.
Right, right.
But Shea is going to get that win that he needs the way he going to pose his will on the game.
Gotcha.
Now, his performance yesterday showed me he scored an assist on damn near every bucket they was getting when they needed it.
Mm-hmm.
When they needed it. Well, that's just my not for nothing. You can say what you want to do about Shea, call him Mr. Canada, oh Canada, this, that, and the other. He came to America and he stuck up the league. Oh, who want that? Everybody like, I'm going for MVP, Shea. Now, give me that. Yo, I'm be the best score. Nah, give me that.
Right.
Give me
He
that.
said, I did that and I ain't even from here.
Yeah, he took everything. He took everything from everybody, Shea. I salute you, bro.
That's a fact.
I salute you. And you did it by making your team happy and the camaraderie.
Right.
Nobody, if somebody on your team is hating on what you did, they didn't catch it on camera.
That's right.
And he showed at a young age, he showed leadership.
Yeah.
At his young age. He had all the success that you just mentioned, but part of that success was his leadership because they all listened to him. He's like the lead, like nobody speaks over him, and he's leading everybody, even like when they're joking around or whatever. That's who he is. So it was good to see that.
Yeah.
I agree.
I don't have nothing to say, bro. Y'all can say what y'all want to say. Y'all can speak.
I got something that I want to say.
Go ahead.
I think that looking at, well, it's a two-part thing. One, I want to salute all of the younger talent that's out there in the NBA. I think that we're seeing conversion of the younger talent starting to take over the NBA. I look at the playoffs. Who were the great guys in the playoffs? We talked about Shea. We talked about the Joker. We talked about Ant-Man. Like, these young guys are really showing and proving that, hey, we here. And it's time that you not only respect us, but understand that this league is ours. You know, like to the LeBrons, to the KDs, to the Stephs. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, these young boys are here now. They're not coming. They here. You know what I'm saying? And I think that all of these teams, like the best teams, you look at the best teams, they were all the young talent. You look at Boston, Cleveland, OKC, like these were the young guys. Even the Knicks. So I like to say that. And then secondly, I like to say, and you know, I'm straight old school when it comes to the NBA. We play 82 games. You show up, you play, you shut the hell up. But I am starting to look at it because we have to change with the times. And I'm not going to say that these younger guys are soft. I'm not going to say that because I don't want them looking for me. But what I am going to say is if you go into the playoffs, and like you said, you have 3 major injuries to 3 major star players, that's a determinant factor in your playoffs, then I think that it's time we start looking at a better way of doing things. I'm not saying lessen the games. I'm not saying lessen the playoffs. I'm saying maybe we need to have a small separation between the regular season and the playoffs, or perhaps maybe, guys don't have to play every road game. You know what I'm saying? I'm just looking at a way for us to maintain and get the most out of these players because it's not like football where you're only playing 17 games a season. 82 games is a lot, and it's hard on your body. Like with both of us being soldiers, like they would always tell us we did more by 9 o'clock than the average person would do all day. Well, these NBA players, these athletes are putting a lot on their body. And of course they're getting paid to do it, but we're not getting the most out of our playoffs and our championships because of these injuries. So I think we need to start looking at it in a manner of what can we do to ensure our playoffs? You know what I'm saying? Like, what can we do? So I think that's something that the NBA needs to look into.
We can start with, and I'm hearing this a lot actually. Why are they not wearing high tops? Let's get away from the cute. Let's stop with the cute sneakers and go back to high tops, because how ironic that you got like 3 or 4 guys all Achilles. Let me see, Kyrie, Lillard, Haliburton, Tatum.
Mm-hmm.
Stop with the cute sneakers, go back to high tops and get more protection on that.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Yeah, I think that's big, and I think that the NBA need to do a nutrition data. Yeah, of all the players that don't get injured and all the players that do get injured, and see where's the common denominator as far as their diets and even their workout. Like the guys right now need to be having everything calculated as far as their workout regimens. Because it might be some of these exercises that they're doing that they think are stretching them, but it's weakening some of these tendons and stuff.
That's a fact.
So right now they're gonna have to do a lot of data and analyzing and see what LeBron is eating and what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's been an Iron Man.
Nah, that's a fact though.
He's had small injuries, but he haven't had any major injuries. Now I don't even want to jinx him, but see what he's doing. See what his diet is. Some of these guys that follow suit and see what's going on. I'm gonna tell you something. Every now and then, I'm the podcast guy. I listen to the competition. I listen to the guy. I listen to podcasts. That's why I started my own, because I love to hear other guys what they got to say. And sometimes, I'm wild, so I'm always gonna say something bizarre. But I heard Joe Johnson say this, and this is the most profound thing. He said on a nightcap recently. So the nightcap after the final. So anybody want to reference this, go to it. So I'm not making this up. Joe Johnson said, he was talking about whatever he was talking about, but I remember this. He said when he first went to the Hawks, he was having his best seasons.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I score like 21 points, 20 points a game. And the next season, I score like 25, 26 points a game. He said, but we wasn't winning nothing. He said, so those points was empty calories. I've never heard a player say that about their own career.
Yeah.
But by him saying that, I pose the question that got to be a true thing. So these players that get all these good numbers, but ain't getting no outcome. They'll say it's disrespectful for somebody that says it's empty calories. But I heard a professional guy say that about his own career.
Right. That's a fact.
So it was just profound to me that he said that about himself.
Yeah, I think a lot of guys would say that about themselves given the opportunity. Like if your points and your stats aren't equating to winning, like what's the point? You're just doing it for your numbers. You know what I'm saying? And I think that we've seen players do that. Like, and as much as I respect Russ, like it was a season or two when Russ did that. It was all about his numbers. And even at one point, the team was making sure they move out the way for him to get a rebound. And it's like, come on, man. Like, so I get it. But I do respect that he was, man enough and big enough to say that. Definitely respect it.
All right, B, you got you want to drop? You got a jewel you want to drop?
Nah, man, I'm good, man. I'm good. It's what are we gonna do for the summer, man? No more basketball.
Nah, we got some shows coming
Still
up.
got the GOAT metrics.
Yeah, we gotta get back to the list. We gotta get back to the list, and then next show we're gonna go over the players who got the most points, got the most GOAT metric points. We're gonna break down the winners of the GOAT metrics for 24-25. Of course, Shea gonna be the top guy. But we're going to put the other guys and break their numbers down, and we jumping right back into the GOAT metrics. And then the draft is in a few days. The draft is like Thursday. So we're going to do the draft as well. So it's going to be some basketball, and maybe we decide, maybe we'll do a vote and see if we're going to take a break. But we got to get through.
Do we have a list of, because you're talking about Shea and all of the points this year, do we have a list of the most points in a single season?
Nah, but we could do the research on that. I believe it's MJ. I just got to figure out which year did MJ, because, and that's great. See, that's what's talking right now. So we'll do the research. What's the most points a player got in one season? And then
including playoffs or just one season?
No, like GOAT metric points, like titles, rebounds, and all this other stuff.
Okay.
Like how many awards? Because it's really how accomplished you are. Like Shea, the most accomplished NBA player this year.
That's a fact.
Like his hardwood, from scoring title to champion, like this year, and this is sad to say, this year is greater than most guys' career.
Mm-hmm.
Most guys don't get an MVP. Most guys don't get a championship. Most guys don't get a finals MVP. And most guys don't get a scoring title. He did this in 1 year.
Yeah.
Crazy. Saying the magical year.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a fact.
That's what's up, bro. I don't know when we're going to record next, man, but I really enjoy this GOAT Metrics episode 31, man. Shea put it on. The magic number is 33. He got 33 points this year. Congratulations to Shea. Indiana, y'all gave up a fight, and maybe when you see your leader go down, maybe that took a little air out of y'all.
Yeah.
But one thing I want to say to Indiana, if you want to win the war, you ain't supposed to take no bullets home. Yeah. You need to be picking up clips. You don't see guys with all they clips coming back.
Right. Shoot them.
Yeah,
Let them loose.
Guys checking clips like, nah. They checking other people's guns like, they collecting bullets. I feel like Siakam, Haliburton, they didn't shoot. And the sad thing about it is, I would have rather seen Mathurin start than Neesmith if Neesmith is not going to shoot.
Right. That's a fact.
Because Mathurin, he done got a switch on his joint. His gun is illegal.
That's right.
He got an illegal gun.
Right.
And I don't think the sad thing about it is, even with him, I like him, but he make a lot of mental mistakes.
He does. He's a little erratic.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. but he had 24 yesterday. He had the second most points in the game behind Shea.
Facts. That's a fact.
Wow.
He outscored all of the starters on Indiana.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's what's up, fellas, man. Goat match is number 31, man. Hey, titles is earned, and Shea earned the ball. All right, peace, fellas.
What's up, P?
Peace.